Oops, completely forgot to tell you all about the different characters there are. So we do a second part of the introduction. As a bonus, let me kick in super hack, honesty, and some personal assessment, personality tools. Yeah, so I'll make up for it. So one side note about the previous chapter that I discussed, so forming and understanding personality, realize that there are of course many different theories about personality. Like one of them is the trait theories. So the first one is that your traits, your preferences are fixed over time and they stay the same over time. The second one is your unconscious thoughts and feelings play a very important role. This is called the psychodynamic theory. And then the third one is the more humanistic theory, the humanistic theory. And that's the one that I described, where personal growth, reaching full potential, adding more heart, reaching authentic being is in the mix. Personally, I always recommend, if there are many different theories and as nobody knows anything, just find what works for you. I personally tend to go more towards the humanistic and the psychodynamic theories, so the role that your subconscious play, but also the more spiritual element, so that you are more than just your thoughts. But that works for me, so that might not work for you. Personality traits. In general, there are of course as many flavors as there are people. But like in general, there are 5 big categories. They spell ocean, O-C-E-A-N. So the first one is openness. The second one is consciousness. The third one is extroversion. Number 4 is, let me speak for a sec, agreeableness. And 5 is neuroticism. So openness, well, you guessed it, new ideas, curiosity, imagination, and appreciation for art. If that sounds like you, then you have a preference for openness. The second one, consciousness, is all about goal setting, organization, stability, responsibility, dependability. You could say mainly goal orientated. Yeah. So third one is extraversion. That's all about the social interaction, stimulation, positive experience, positive emotions. When compared to my daughter, for example, I would say the rainbow and sunshine type of personality. Number 4 is the agreeableness. So are you cooperative? Are you trusting? Are you empathetic? Can you relate to somebody else? Can you feel what that person is feeling? And in general, are you like a nice person to be around? And then number 5, this is the bit more negative side of a personality. That's the neuroticism, which focus more on the negative type of emotions, susceptibility. And also, of course, the positive side from that is building up resilience as well as more emotional stability. So if you get smacked down hard and if you keep getting up, well, then you have probably some more experience than if somebody really has wind in his back all their life. Yeah, so 5 personalities, spell ocean together. And we will kick in another YouTube video which explains this well and gives more examples, of course. However, as science tends to keep up and improve the knowledge of our species, there might be even a 6th one, which brings me to the super hack, honesty, humility, which is called number 6 of personality traits. Not everybody acknowledges it yet, but the majority tends to go towards that one. And I highly recommend diving into that one, as it is something that you can train yourself as well. This same concept applies, of course, for all the other character traits. You can reshape your story as discussed before. But honesty is like the way to move from head to heart. It is, however, a very difficult pathway, as it requests a ton load of courage. Yeah, it's very hard to be honest, and radical honesty is not for everyone, nor is it for perhaps every situation. But when you're honest or when you relate to your true authentic self, try to connect a bit to your heart and your beliefs, which helps if you know what they are, as discussed in previous chapter. So if you want to learn this honesty trait, if you want to boost your honesty, then I would say start with self-reflection. So take time to reflect on your own behaviors. Take a look at those around you. Who do you aspire to? Who impresses or inspires you, so to say. Then create sort of a daily structure. So do it in the morning or in the evening at some certain particular moment in time in a particular place. So force yourself 5 to 10 minutes. Set aside a few moments and reflect. Reflect on that particular day. What did you think about, or what do you think about when you think about honesty during the day? Perhaps some good experience, perhaps some bad experience. So about experiences, honesty often relates to other people, of course. So I highly recommend a third element other than self-reflection and journaling is active listening. So listen to somebody. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So try to listen twice as much than speak. Sort of a guideline. And try to be fully aware and focus. Also look behind the personality. Look behind the character trait. And just listen and ask questions, like honest, authentic questions. Do not do that with the veil of putting your opinion but with a question mark behind it, because that's sort of the toxic version of it. Try to be as authentic and empathetic as you can. How to do that? As soon as you hear yourself, as soon as you hear opinion boy coming by, like good, bad, beautiful, ugly, as soon as you're going to use adjectives or nouns, then know that you're stamping that person's story. So try to gain or realize that, become more aware of that, and focus on what somebody is telling. And do not apply your own perception, your own glasses, so to say, on top of that other person. So then you are, for example, you as the color blue are telling the color yellow how they should be a better blue. No, just listen to the color yellow and learn how it is, what they experience, how they see the world, and enrich your world as well. So practice honesty in communication. Also, a fourth one, act with integrity. So do as you say and act according to your ethics and values. And then number 5 is humility. Yeah, so stay humble. And of course, number 6, reflect. But that's sort of a da as well. Yep, so we made a 30-step plan on how to do this. I highly recommend trying it out. It is, however, only for the courageous ones, because it does take, it will create nearly said shitload again. It will create a ton load of socially awkward situations, but you will see it will deepen your conversations and relationships like nothing else. It is, honestly, it is another level. So yeah, if you want to go deep, go honest. Tools to assess your personality. What type of person are you? And can you find yourself in these ocean or humility? There is a scala of different tools. I highly recommend to use the tools that we share in the quizzes. But do remember, they are only presenting your outer layer, so to say. So your mask, I would say. Know that you are more than your personality, the story that you tell yourself. So there are assessment tools. Of course, there is in my opinion, perhaps an even more powerful one that's called self-reflection. So start journaling, write things down. How do you behave in certain situations? And also observe your behavior. So it's sort of a tandem with number 2. Yep. And reflect with others as well. So if you would create a 30-day plan for that, I would say start with your assessments, do the online quizzes, and I will show you 2 in a sec. So take these assessments, but there are others out there. Then create sort of your, like what are your results and insights? What do you aspire? Once again, in the same way as we discussed with honesty, who are the people in your surrounding that you look up to, so to say, or if that's not anybody, what's your best version, or who's your superhero, whatever you want to call it. But what are the traits that you want to develop? And then reflect, seek feedback from others. And then I think it's all about trial and error. So yeah, let me show you. I don't want to dive too much into this model because we will discuss it in the second part, communication preferences. But in majority, the personality assessment tools are based on this ocean model, these big 5 character traits that I showed you before. Sometimes they kick in the 6th one, honesty, humility, like with the Hexaco model. So the hexaco.org is a open source free tool which you can use. It's a very good starting point. So I do recommend do this Hexaco tool and figure out what your preferences are and how you are wired yourself in these areas. So for me personally, this is my outcome of Hexaco. I do want to mention that if you take them on different times, and in different state of being, so for example, when you feel down or feel shitty, you might get different results than when you feel very up. So I do want to emphasize the fact that you also notice or become aware of the state that you are in. Are you very energetic, or are you tired when you do this course? Are you in a rush, or how are you, so to say? Also, what's the time of day, or is it in the morning, in the evening? And perhaps do it again on a opposite approach. So if you did it in the morning, then do another one in the evening. If you felt down, do it when you're happy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So in my case, the honesty, humility, I am apparently sincere, which surprised me as well. No. But you can see the 10 percentile, the 50 percentile, the 90 percentile. If you score higher than the 90 percentile, that's sort of like what separates you from the majority. 50% is where the average is. And in short, you can just see where the outliers are. In my case, it's sincerity and fairness. So sort of, equal shot for all, so to say. Extroversion. So apparently I'm all about the social interaction, which as a teacher I can confirm. I do love to connect. Openness a little bit, and I score less in the agreeable departments. So I'm apparently not that gentle, which I think can be confirmed by the missus. I am not always as kind as I should be. I can be a bit too direct, which might be a Dutch trait as well. And apparently I am not that flexible. Perhaps it's a bit of my training as an auditor. Perhaps it's a character trait or whatever. That did surprise me. And I'm not sure if I want to develop that further, because you might want to focus on developing your strengths and perhaps just leave your downsides BSD. I don't think, or I do think, like and I mentioned this in another video as well. For me, the approach is the soft skills. I want to develop my my weaknesses. So in this case, my flexibility has to go up. I'm not entirely sure if I want to, but yeah, I probably need to. So I need to become more flexible in my case. And then I will need to figure out, okay, how does one become that? But for the hard skills, I do recommend focus on your strengths. So ignore your weaknesses. Like I am, as you might have noticed, not that great in drawing. Well, accept it. I don't do a drawing course. Instead, I am perhaps better in teaching. So why not focus on the teaching department? Yeah. So hard skills, focus on your strengths. Do like 90% strengths, 10% weaknesses, and flip that with the soft skills. Like develop your soft skills, because you need, as a human being on the soft side department, so to say, it's probably wise to become all round, because that helps you launch your hard skills. So the soft skills support your hard skills. So if you're a really shitty person, but the best developer in the world, still not many people will want to build amazing companies with you. unless you are like an insanely great developer. Of course, there are exceptions, but in general, rule of thumb, people tend to work with friendlier people, so to say. So become all round in the soft department. Friendly reminder that personality is just your glass that you're looking your world through. Keep in mind, opinion boy. So try to refrain from judgment of other personalities. So become more aware of stems, adjectives, nouns, good, bad, ugly, I like, don't like, labels, so to say. Yeah. And then I leave you with a bunch of cool YouTube videos that explain personality way better than I do. And I wish you all the luck. So a recap would be engage in self-reflection and introspection to gain valuable insights into your own personality. So we gave you the 30-day plan. Definitely don't do this. Avoid limiting yourself based on fixed qualities. So I do think we're flexible beings. I am apparently not so, but try to see where you want to develop yourself. Yeah, there's more you can grow, so to say, in short. So don't let the mind's tendency, represented by opinion boy, stick labels and lean toward negativity. So finally, never forget this. Personality is just one of the major lenses through which you see the world. And just as you can throw off sunglasses and change them, you can do something similar with your personality. So that's a wrap. Thank you for being patient with me. And I will see you in the second part where we dive into these models a bit more. And I will show you the different colors of shades, so to say. It's a cool one. So looking forward to it. See you there.